Hi, I am Maylene Mivkovic, a graduate STEM communication designer at the Colorado School of Mines. In this video, we will discuss how to write a conclusion for a laboratory report. The conclusion is the last major section of a laboratory report. By this point, all results have been discussed and no new information is included. Instead, this section provides the reader with a summary of the methods and scope of the experiment. It conveys what was important about the results by connecting the discussion back to the purpose of the report. Thus, this section briefly describes whether the results were significant in context. For example, the conclusion could end by addressing what the implications of the results are for a certain industry, field, application, or process. The conclusion could also identify future directions. Even though a report contains several numerical results or observed trends, it is not necessary to include all results, only the most important ones. This section may reiterate any predictions and address whether the results were expected or not. If results were not expected, the conclusion should also contain reasoning to describe why the results were unexpected. For example, we can explain that the result deviated from predictions due to systematic or random error present. One way to approach writing a conclusion is to begin by restating the general purpose of the paper or experiment and focusing on the ideas that were developed throughout the paper. Then you can transition to the implications of the results to show how the topic is meaningful. For example, we can explain how our research can be used by other writers or researchers in future studies. Typically, the conclusion is one paragraph with no word or sentence limit. However, occasionally professors might say that a conclusion must be shorter than 200 words or between 3 to 5 sentences. Always refer to your instructor for specific guidelines. A couple of helpful tips to keep in mind include writing concisely and in the past tense. However, if other scholars need to be cited, use the present tense instead. See the handout and activity for examples. Thanks.